are back with
We're back.
We are back now.
Back in black. Bam. I am Iron Man.
All right, so we are back.
Song.
We are back now. We are now doing the AL Central.
I'm not saying sports. What's going on? Mark Jones here at Blackstang1302 on Twitter. John Wall over here. What's happening?
Got my Twitter back. It is @ John _ G.
Too many underscores. What is the underscore on the AL Central?
That's a good one.
What is it?
That's a good one.
Don't forget to like, subscribe. We're new. We're trying to get rid of that 4-letter network because they don't know what they're doing. They're spending way too much. They're spending more money on one broadcast of Monday Night Football than the entire season finale of the series finale, final season of the highly anticipated Game of Thrones.
That they are.
Season. 2 hours versus a full season.
And the broadcast, not cutting it.
Unfortunately, they're going to have, this is again for another video, but they're going to have either Kurt Warner or the former Bears tight end.
Anyways, so we got AL Central right here. First, we're going to talk about the Indians.
Cleveland Indians, what, 3 years in a row of winning the division?
Yeah. Now here's a question.
Are they going to trade Keuchel? There's been talks.
They don't have Keuchel. He's a free agent.
Sorry, not Dallas Keuchel, Corey Kluber. There's been talks.
I think,
Maybe they signed Keuchel.
Yeah, could be.
Possibility.
Even though they've been trying to cut payroll all
He is
season.
on the market.
But the thing with Corey Kluber, I think those rumors at this point are kind of eradicated.
I never thought it was real.
Because they shed their payroll
2-time Cy Young winner.
Because supposedly their ownership overspent their budget the last couple of years on the payroll. And this year, it's just finally like, you know what? We got to cut this a little bit. We're going to have to eventually start paying Lindor and Ramirez. We got to get rid of some people.
Here's the thing about
see
Cleveland.
Yan Gomes, see Yonder Alonso, see whoever else. I think there's a few
One
others.
thing about Cleveland sports,
Walk Andrew Miller.
if Cleveland sports aren't good, the fans don't care. They will not show up.
Well, so how do you think the Indians will be this year?
Well, unfortunately, I think they're going to win the division just because it's such a poor division.
I think they
For
had
what, the 5th year in a row?
I think they had the worst possible offseason that they could. They
lost multiple people on that
lost
team.
multiple people, gained nobody.
And they'll still win it.
And
And contend.
And they'll still probably win it. I really hate to say this, but because it's Lindor, Ramirez, Kluber, Carrasco, Bauer.
They're really hoping for improvement
But-
within.
Yeah,
The
I
young
mean
up-and-coming
they didn't do. They had a crap off season, but they just can like pry on the fact that they play in a weak division, and
That's one way to play it too, you know.
yeah.
They have the opportunity because the team is just so poor, or the division is just so poor. So where do you think they're going to win the division?
I think that they probably will. I think
More
that's a
than
must.
likely. I mean, it's just there's nobody else.
Yeah.
Kluber wins Cy Young. Let's go with. I can't throw Cy Young on anybody in that division right now because it's just so poor.
Yeah.
I'm
I
thinking of a bold prediction.
I had one in my mind earlier, and now I'm kind of
All right, I got it. Bold prediction: Mike Napoli comes out of retirement, and they play in the World Series.
Well, we can see. My bold prediction. How about this? This is one I just thought of. Indians fans, not gonna like this. Jason Kipnis, DFA.
Oh, it's happening. It is happening, and he will sign with the Kansas City Royals.
Maybe we will see.
minor league deal comes up at September call-ups for the veteran presence.
Yeah.
That sounds like a thing. Or he joins Bartolo Colon.
Bartolo Colon. Still unsigned. Still wants to play.
Still wants to play. Still wants to eat.
Big sexy.
Still wants to eat. They both joined the Kansas City Royals farm system, minor league system, and they win the minor league title. Bartolo calls it a career.
Maybe.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, this is probably going to be a much shorter video just because it's such a poor division, and there's really not much going on, and it's very upsetting.
As a fan of a specific team in the Central.
Yes.
Central sucks.
AL Central, AL West, probably going to be our shortest videos.
Yeah.
Because there's not much going on. Now, we could probably do a whole video on breaking down just the Miami Marlins and what went wrong.
Yeah, that is a fact.
But, unfortunately, out of these 5 teams...
I don't think they're worth our time.
Out of these 5 teams, there's not much...
There's really not much to talk about. Now, I could talk about my specific team, front office, and how they butchered this offseason.
And let's go into that next.
Let's do it. Okay, in case any of you were wondering the slightest, I am a Chicago White Sox fan, so I am living in hell. As we all know.
What went so wrong with this offseason? I'm just curious.
This
offseason, our 4 fans that are not us.
So we had the intention of signing Manny Machado or Bryce Harper.
And with Manny Machado, this is something.
Manny Machado.
This is something that you guys have really been trying for a couple of years.
Yeah. We tried to trade for him last offseason. The Orioles didn't
when they put him on the market. Yes.
Yeah. We didn't get him last offseason.
So what did the White Sox do this offseason in order to help your chances?
So in order to help the chances, the Chicago White Sox signed Manny Machado's brother-in-law, Yonder Alonso.
No, they traded for Yonder.
Traded for him, you are right. And then they signed, apparently like his best friend growing up, John Jay.
And why... that seems like such a nice thing. Why couldn't they...
Seems like a great thing, but the White Sox front office didn't want to give Machado the offer he asked for. Now, would that money eventually be made back? Quite possibly. So ticket sales would skyrocket.
Especially since nobody goes to the White Sox games now. Why not sign a big name free agent to try to pull a couple more people to the stadium?
Why not? That is my question.
They are
for Kenny Williams, Rick Hahn, and Jerry Reinsdorf.
The White Sox are...
If any of the 3 of you are watching this, please feel free to answer that question in this comment section.
So
I would like a response.
I'm going to say on more of a serious note because I feel like we've gotten a little, hyper-extended with what it is. I mean, we're being serious, but
yeah.
The White Sox, they have like a bottom 5 payroll. And
yes.
They're in the large market of Chicago. There's no reason why they shouldn't be able to spend money. I mean, there is no salary cap in baseball. Why are they feeding off the bottom of salary caps? That just makes no sense. And then they're trying to say that they're not a small market team. They're in a big market, so their front office thinks that they're a small market team.
Yes.
That's what it is. And that's why they wanted to sign him. They said they had a better offer. The offer was, I think, 8 years, $250, but
which more annual value.
Yeah.
But Machado wanted the 10 years for $300.
Yes,
which is exactly what he got.
Yes, the San Diego Padres said, "What do you want?" and we'll give it to you. Now the White Sox had add-ons up to $350 in that 8 years,
yes.
but Manny pulled more of a
He
pulled more of a Kevin Durant route and took the easy route. He says, "I don't want to work for that extra $80 million in the two fewer seasons. I want to just be given it, whether I'm Albert Pujols or Mike Trout."
Manny Machado, if you and me ever meet, I wouldn't expect to become friends anytime soon.
Now, why did Manny Machado not sign with the White Sox? Even though his best friend was there, the money wasn't quite there, and his brother-in-law was there. Well, actually, his other brother-in-law lives in San Diego, and they're really good friends. And John Jay, one of his best friends, talked very highly about the San Diego Padres. So what
that he did.
So the eggs in one basket, Rick. That's what I've been calling him. He put all his this rebuild's not built around one guy apparently, but they had one hole to fill, and the other third basemen are currently off the market, being Nolan Arenado, Mike Moustakas, and soon to sign the extension, Rendon. Hector Rendon. Anthony Rendon. Hector Rendon was the former closer for both the Kansas City Royals and Chicago White Sox. Chicago Cubs. So yeah, the White Sox. What areas do they need help in other than third base? Because we kind of mentioned third base.
So I would definitely say center field.
Upgrade in the outfield.
Yeah, I mean the White Sox have prospect depth to eventually fill that. Luis Robert, highly touted guy we signed from Cuba. He should be awesome. And then if he either busts out or they decide he can't play center, then the third guy in the Chris Sale deal, Luis Basabe, is also going to be more than a capable major league center fielder.
Yes, he's supposedly has the arm. He's had the arm since a very young age. A lot of people could see him being just a Gold Glove right fielder year in year out, and maybe not necessarily a center fielder because of the such great arm, more of a right fielder.
We will have to see in the future.
Now, so the plan was to move Jan Moncada, their prized possession from the Chris Sale deal, who hasn't really had the year yet, which is a big stepping year for him. I've been a huge Jan Moncada fan since the very beginning. The day he signed the contract with my
Boston.
My teams are off today with my Boston Red Sox. Chris Sale had to change his socks a couple days ago.
Yes.
So, anyways, huge Jan Moncada fan. They're planning on moving him to third base, which is where I always saw him at. That's where the Red Sox tried him at when they had him. He likes playing second base more, but he's so big. I mean, I personally don't see him as a second baseman. Usually, second basemen are the smallest, most proficient fielder out there. Not always necessarily the best fielder, but proficient, as I'm saying. They have they're like the Pirates. They've got a lot of young, up and coming pitchers.
Yes, particularly.
Now, unfortunately, they've had multiple injuries, being Dylan Cease, who should be healthy this year, and the other guy being
Michael Kopech.
Very unfortunately.
He thought UCL torn.
Yeah, he thought he was ready to come up. Clearly, he wasn't.
Clearly he was. He was ready much before he came up.
He was injured.
It just so happened.
He was injured in the minors. Yeah, he was injured. He was injured in the minors. Thought he was ready. He wasn't. Now, was he ready? Yes, but with that injury.
Well, no, he wasn't pitching with a torn UCL.
No, he wasn't. But all the extra add-ons, he wasn't ready for the big lights, and he got injured by doing so. Now, they have a lot of pieces. It would have been nice to see them sign maybe like a veteran,
a good player, It would have been nice to bring in
a second tier free agent. I mean, the White Sox. Why are they a bottom 5 payroll? They're in a large market.
They haven't always been a low tier payroll.
They're usually towards the top.
Yeah, they back 10 years ago, in between 15 and even 5 years ago, they were towards the top.
Now they don't like signing people to huge deals.
Yes.
But they'll give a lot of.
They'll what the White Sox like to do. They'll extend the players that they have.
Yes. Now they have a very poor job of bringing up their farm system is strong.
The White Sox farm system always does a very good job of developing pitching and a very terrible job of developing hitting.
Yes,
traditionally,
yes. Record-wise, where do you think they're going to finish in the division?
I think they'll finish third in the division. I
That'd
think
be
that's
good for
I
them.
think that's almost set in stone. I don't think there's a way they get up to second. I don't think there's a way they get down to fourth. I think they're like
it's
by far the third
unfortunately
best team.
it's such a poor division that you could almost easily. I mean, baseball, you never know what's going to happen. It's a marathon. But with this unfortunately this division with the stray of talent, it's just very you could almost chisel these teams in at a slot.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah, probably third makes sense.
Yeah.
And it'd be good for them. I think they'll tack on a lot of wins, but not enough wins, and not too few wins, which will be good. Unfortunately, it's a stepping year rather than a leaping year.
Yeah, I think they'll be somewhere in like the middle 70s.
Yeah, mid tier. They'll show spurts.
Maybe upper 70s, but that's a solid year.
Yeah. They'll show spurts. They'll go on a couple of long win streaks, but they'll go on a couple of long losing streaks. Yeah, I'd have them at third. Bold prediction.
So my bold prediction was that Yohan Machado is gonna like finally break out and like be good, but I don't think that's bold enough. My bold prediction: Carlos Rodon, All-Star.
I personally don't think that's very bold.
It's not, but the White Sox...
I think he's on pace for that, especially with every MLB team getting at least one All-Star.
That's true, but the All-Star, here's... No, okay.
All-Star system is broke.
Here's a bold prediction. Multiple All-Stars.
Ooh, that is
How
bold.
about that?
That is
because
bold.
I was kind of implying that like Abreu, he's gonna make it.
Yeah, it's they need everything.
And then
out of Abreu.
Rodon additionally.
They need everything.
But it could be someone else. So my bold prediction: multiple All-Stars.
My bold prediction for the Chicago White Sox: I'm gonna have two. Michael Kopech, his recovery goes great. He ends up pitching in September.
Wow.
My other one is they re-sign James Shields because they need help with their pitching.
All right, there you have it. So
I'm sorry about that James Shields one. I just had to because he's a free agent and he wants to pitch.
That is true.
And with the CBA, players aren't signing until right before opening day.
That is very
Still
true.
out there. He's a capable arm. They know him in the locker room. If he goes anywhere,
or could the White Sox bring Gio Gonzalez back for the third time?
Well,
they
would have to trade for him considering he signed with the Texas Rangers.
Did he?
Yes.
I did not know that. This is news to me.
Yeah,
news to me.
The Texas Rangers also sent Jesse Chavez. That was near and dear to my heart because he was the only pitcher at the end of the season for the Chicago Cubs, my team, living in Chicago. And that was good.
And when I say bring Gio Gonzalez back for the third time, what I mean by that is the White Sox traded him twice before he even made the majors.
Gio Gonzalez? You mean Marwin Gonzalez?
Gio Gonzalez.
Gio Gonzalez. The Nationals? Former Nationals
Yes,
pitcher?
he's a free agent.
I thought it was the other pitcher. The other Gonzalez pitcher.
No, Marwin Gonzalez, he's on a different team in the AL Central that we'll get to.
Okay, that's fine. So, anyways...
Or bring back Bartolo Colon for the third time. Big sexy.
He is a free agent in this CBA.
He is.
You know what? Let's just go with the White Sox signing every old, borderline irrelevant
That
pitcher.
would be the classic White Sox move.
You heard it here first.
A power hitter named Adam who turns out to be terrible for the team.
Oh, a guy named Adam whose career is done.
Yes.
Or is his...
Adam Wainwright. Trade for Adam Wainwright. There it is. My new bold prediction. White Sox trade for Adam Wainwright.
They signed James Shields and Bartolo Colon and trade for Adam Wainwright. I will buy all three of those jerseys if two of those players.
All right.
I'll buy whatever players are on the team if two of those three players are on it. I like it. Do we want to move on to another team?
Yes,
Maybe let's go with the how about the Kansas City Royals?
Let's go with the Kansas City Royals.
Another bad.
Very bad.
Very bad.
Very bad.
Team in the AL Central. Very unfortunate. Again, we're gonna just crown the Cleveland Indians. You know, let's not even play the games. You know, save all their pitchers' bullets. Just take BP. You know, with the hitters for the Cleveland Indians because it's not worth playing. Not worth playing. But back onto the Kansas City Royals. What did they do this offseason? They signed every single fast person except for D. Gordon.
Yes.
except for D. Gordon. Now, who's their second baseman? What's his
Whit
name?
Merrifield.
Whit Merrifield. Yes, what a stupid name, and that's why I can never remember it. Who would name their kid Whit? Maybe it's Whitney, but who would name their kid after a tight end on the Cowboys? The only Cowboys player that has never gone to jail.
That is
on their
pretty
current
true.
roster because they did re-sign him.
Yes. Yeah, that
Now,
is true.
That is one
Breaking
thing that the
news.
four-letter network will not cover. The amount of convicted felons on the Dallas Cowboys. And we're going to have to save
Quite
this.
a few.
We're going to have to save this for
I
another
am
video.
surprised. I am surprised that Kareem Hunt is not a Dallas Cowboy. Yes, they have Ezekiel Elliott, who is, wait for it, a convicted felon.
Dak Prescott, multiple DUIs in college, and that's why he slipped to the 4th round. He wears that number 4 on his chest, loud and proud. Well, that's because he's an alcoholic. And nobody wanted to deal with an alcoholic. One of the reasons why Johnny Manziel is not in the league. Although he is
more than an alcoholic. He is an alcoholic plus.
Coke addict. He loves his Coke. Now I think we edit this.
And by this we don't mean Coke Zero. We mean Coke powder.
I think we edit this little part of the video.
I like this part.
Make it its own separate video. So back to the Kansas City Royals. I completely forgot how we veered off of that.
So, anyways, we were saying they have fast pitch, they have fast players.
It was Whit Merrifield. And I was like, just Whit Dallas Cowboys. What a stupid name, Whit Merrifield.
Yeah.
So he actually, I believe he led the league in hits. He did not have the average, but I believe he led the league in hits.
There's no way he got that many at bats.
I heard this on the radio. I don't know if it's
Oh, you
true.
just mean like hit the ball?
Yeah, get hits.
Yeah, like not
play.
striking out.
Not
Okay,
average,
okay,
yes.
okay.
I heard it on the radio. I was half listening. I was trying to figure out who the player was.
You know, I would have guessed Mookie Betts because he doesn't strike out. But maybe
we actually went to a White Sox game, White Sox Red Sox game.
The return of Chris Sale to USL
and
to Guaranteed Rate Field,
and Mookie Betts is like 100 and some game going back to last season. Strikeout thing was broken. He got struck out, not by Chris Sale though, because Chris Sale had a terrible game that.
Chris Sale was on his team.
I'm sorry, he was facing Jose Quintana, and both pitchers had a terrible game.
It was a very high-scoring game.
Like
fun to watch.
It was like a 4.5-hour high-scoring game.
It was.
When you go, you want the high games. Now back to Billy Hamilton signing with the.
I don't think he's that good at baseball. I think he's a good center fielder. He's fast.
Phenomenal defensively.
Don't think this is going to be an impactful move.
Great defensively. Makes the spectacular plays. He's not afraid of the wall. A lot of center fielders are afraid of the wall. No center fielders in the NL Central, actually. NL Central has by far the best center fielder. Unfortunately, losing Billy Hamilton in the NL Central puts a hit on one of the teams in the NL Central center fielder.
Yes.
But I think that they're just going to bunt every time they get up. Kansas City Royals. I think
we will have to see.
I think they're just going to...
That would be a bold strategy.
I think they're just going to try slapping down bunts. Every single time. Every single time.
We can see.
We will see.
Will this happen?
Probably
not. Definitely not. But prove us wrong, Royals. Prove us wrong.
Bold prediction. Kansas City leads the league in steals. That is not bold, because that will happen. In fact, if you want to make some money, put money down that the Kansas City Royals will not lead the league in steals. You might end up winning that.
Here's my bold prediction. Maybe not bold, maybe bold. Don't know. Not going to know if this comes true. Kansas City Royals leads the league in ground balls hit.
Leads the league in ground balls hit. That's actually not bold either. I'm sorry, Kansas City. You really didn't do anything this offseason other than sign a player who has a couple feet out the door, Billy Hamilton. A guy who has not hit the entire time being in the MLB.
Yes.
Which is very unfortunate.
Yes, it is. And by the way, we didn't get their place. I got them 5th. I'm sorry, Kansas City.
I'm going to go with one of those bold prediction. Also, bold prediction and record goes at the same time. I'm going to go with the Kansas City Royals leading the league in infield hits. 2nd in the division. I'm going as high as 2nd. They're going.
Wow.
They are going for a no home run. Nothing but small ball approach. And it worked for them. They went back-to-back World Series. Now, Mike Moustakas was the only hitter on the team. Unfortunately, they still have, what's his name, Alex Gordon?
Mike Moustakas was hurt during the World Series, I think.
During the World Series, I believe so. I believe he got injured during the World Series, the second World Series.
I thought it was
But
like
he was
early in
there.
the season he got injured and like was out.
Either way, leave it in the comments. Let us know.
Either way, Salvador Perez won World Series MVP. Not that impressive of a post. Not that impressive World Series.
Salvador Perez, Tommy John, out all season. Just another kick in the nards.
That stinks.
By far their best player.
All-star starter last year.
Now, leave this in the comments. Question for you. Who has a higher batting average? Alex Gordon? Or Billy Hamilton? You know what? Who has a better on-base percentage?
That's a better
That's
question.
actually going to go to Billy Hamilton, hands down. I don't think Alex Gordon gets on base enough compared to Billy Hamilton.
They're both going to be like 285.
Oh, God. 280? Oh, on base.
On base.
I thought you were going with average. I'm
no.
like, a 280 average. I'm like, these are all
That's
stars.
acceptable, yeah.
Yeah. Sorry, Kansas City. You really don't have much going for you. Quentin Merrifield signing the largest.
Did you call him Quentin? Because you didn't want to call him Wit.
Convicted felon. Soon to be convicted felon. Justin Witten. God, this guy's like a Hall of Famer, Man of the Year, NFL Man of the Year. Oh, okay, I'm sorry.
A little bit off track right there.
They really,
but that's what you get when you listen to us instead of a 4-letter. Even though if you listen to this 4-letter broadcast, they will go off track. But what they will not do, we will actually talk about the sport. All right, so going back into action, I think that's.
What is the next team that we have on the list, John? Who else is in the AL Central?
So we have the Tigers and Twins. Which one would you add?
You know what? Let's keep on the terrible teams and stick with
Detroit Tigers.
The Detroit Tigers. Oh man, what are you doing? Ever since you guys let Prince Fielder go in that trade, you have not been respectable. Bring Prince back. I think Prince is going to try for a comeback. He's got that neck issue, but maybe the doctors clear him. What do you think on that, John?
I don't know.
Is Prince Fielder the missing link?
You
for
have
the
him.
Detroit Tigers.
You have him.
Leave
you
your
have
comments
Miggy,
below.
and you have Victor Martinez. That's a lot of big people to rotate.
Oh my!
That's a lot of weight.
Can we? I have a question for you, John. How did the Detroit Tigers go to back-to-back World Series with unarguably maybe the 3 slowest back-to-back-to-back hitters in MLB history? Back-to-back World Series.
Justin Verlander.
And he couldn't get it done.
Could not get it
twice. Very unfortunate.
And wait, was Max Scherzer on the team back then?
Oh, yes, he was. He won the second year they went to the World Series.
Cy Young.
He won the Cy Young. And has he lost to Cy Young ever since? Not since he's been Not since he's been in the AL, except for last year when he lost to Jacob deGrom. Very sad. Anyways, back to this very poor, very, very poor. Who's their best player? Nick Castellano?
Probably, I would say. No.
Well, it'd be Miguel
Cabrera.
Miguel Cabrera.
And then, here's a question. He's been in the league for a few years. He's had his ups and downs. Is Michael Fulmer any good?
Is Michael Fulmer any good? I have to say no. I think he's more of that RG3 type of thing. As soon as they got a book on him, he was no good. RG3, Rookie of the Year, correct?
Yes, Rookie of the Year.
Rookie of the Year, led terrible, trash Redskins team to the playoffs. They won a playoff game, or I think they lost, right?
I think they lost.
I think he got injured. Not AJ Green.
Andy Dalton?
No, not Andy Dalton. RG3 got injured in the playoff game, and they ended up losing, I believe. Correct? I believe so. But anyways,
I don't know.
RG3, phenomenal. Rookie of the Year. As soon as defenses learned how to play on him, never was good again in the NFL. Took a year for them to do it, and that's what I'm seeing with this Carson Fulmer. Or I'm sorry, not Carson Fulmer.
He's the White Sox. Will he ever be an MLB caliber player, Carson Fulmer?
Since we're talking about the AL Central.
AL Central Fulmers.
I say not.
I say we will have to see. Anyways, going back.
Bold prediction. The Miguel Cabrera gets traded at the deadline.
Ooh.
Will that money move?
Ooh!
This guy will be paid for years to come. And it keeps the money keeps going up, and he is done. This guy should retire while he's ahead. He'd still get his money.
He still would.
In fact, I'm going to go with my bold prediction for the Detroit Tigers. The Detroit Tigers trade Miguel Cabrera for Albert Pujols. Two of the worst, largest contracts in MLB history. I'm sticking with it. Actually, I'm gonna say that the A's take on both contracts. The Angels take on.
A's the team least likely to take on that contract.
The Angels take on both contracts, knowing that they cannot afford Mike Trout this offseason. Thoughts?
That'd be very puzzling move by the Angels front office.
I have to apologize. We're joking around so much this episode because the AL Central, for what?
Sucks.
The fifth year, so poor. And it's really a disservice to how good the Indians are.
And how good the AL Central used to be.
Just a couple years ago.
The Royals were terrible, but every other team back in like the mid-2000s, they were kicking it.
They were kicking it. Meaning they were still alive.
Yes.
As opposed to being dead right now.
Yes. Anyways, I don't like...
Jamer Candelario, is he their third baseman?
He is.
Switch hitter. Stepping year for him. Nate Castellano, can he play outfield? Or is he going to have to be a first baseman and have Miguel play permanent DH now that Victor Martinez retired, correct?
Did he retire?
Who retired last year? Leave it in the comments. Victor Martinez, I believe, right?
I couldn't tell you.
I believe so.
Anyways, what's your standing prediction? What's your place prediction?
I'm going to have them finishing dead last, especially considering I have the Kansas City Royals finishing second of all places.
For whatever reason.
Why did I do that? Where do you have them? You're going to have them
I have the Tigers. No, I have them at fourth. I do think they're a slightly underrated team. And by slightly, I mean slightly. They're still a very bad team.
Let's go bold
My
prediction.
bold prediction? I think that their all-star is someone other than Castellanos.
So I
don't know who. I'm saying it's someone else.
Watch it be a relief pitcher that used to be
Joe Jimenez,
a former starter. That maybe it's Bartolo in the bullpen.
Maybe
He's still out there with the CBA. My bold prediction is Dallas Keuchel will be signed to the largest contract a pitcher has ever seen by the Detroit Tigers.
Ooh.
And I'm going to have a, I'm not saying bonus bold prediction. I've had like 6
bold. You've done like the Miguel Cabrera
two
is traded.
Bold predictions. My bold prediction is that the Detroit Tigers are the worst team in baseball, which is saying something.
That is saying something.
Especially being in with Kansas City Royals in the same division.
Yes.
But if I have the Kansas City Royals second, something has to go wrong. I'm going to say that the Tigers are so bad, they're worse in the division, and they end up trading every single relevant player on that team at the deadline, including Miguel Montero.
He's on the team?
No, including Miguel Cabrera to the Halos.
All right.
And onto the final team in this division?
Minnesota Twins.
We were saving this one for the last, and why were we doing this?
Is they actually had a good offseason.
Other than the Cincinnati Reds, they may have made the most moves this offseason.
They did a very good job with it, too. They didn't spend that much money,
They
got some good talent.
They actually have a lesser payroll than they did last year. Why? Because they're not paying the former catcher. The former catcher, Justin Morrow, anymore. That's not his
Joe
name.
Mauer?
Joe Mauer. Justin Mauer is his brother. Who's his brother? The referee in the NBA.
Yeah.
Uh,
Anyways, we got some good moves here. We got Nelson Cruz signing.
Huge move. Will he play
Huge
outfield in that very short right field?
I highly doubt it.
Okay.
Marwin Gonzalez signed for like nothing. Another very good move.
Why didn't another AL Central team sign him? Any AL team Central. You know, in fact, it would have been a very smart move for the Detroit Tigers, considering they're going to be the worst team, and end up trading everyone at the deadline to sign him and trade him at the deadline, because that's something of value. Other than everything on their team that has no value.
Yeah, for real. I'm looking at, because they made a few other moves. Oh, Jonathan Shoop.
Shoop.
I think, as a White Sox fan, he would have been my ideal backup plan if Manny Machado didn't sign, because he was one of the best players in the AL
On the younger side,
just a couple years ago.
On the younger side,
2 years ago, he's still young. Cut, but not picked up by the Brewers.
Yeah, the Brewers, another guy that they unfortunately let slip. They just don't want to spend money. The Brewers, and this was in a former video, they are going in with the exact same team as last year, except they extended Mike Moustakas. That is it.
Yes.
The Minnesota Twins, yeah, I'm gonna, before, I know we're still analyzing this team, and they have a couple of nice arms. They added a couple of nice arms. Addison Reed, right?
Yes, they added Addison
I
Reed.
believe he was the first person to sign this offseason.
Could very well be.
I'm gonna go with my bold prediction. My bold prediction being, I forgot what it was, so why don't you continue, John?
Well, I have them finishing in second place. I think they did a great job. And my bold prediction, I forgot mine too. So, you think of something.
According to my standings, I have them finishing fourth. Now, I believe they will finish second, but because I, for some reason, took the Kansas City Royals at 2, I'm going to go with the Twins at 4.
You know what my bold prediction is? Byron Buxton,
MVP?
MLB just gives up on him and realizes he's Billy Hamilton 2.0.
Oh, man, and Billy Hamilton going to this division.
We've talked about him several times in this video.
This is just another poor center fielder in this AL Central.
Great center fielder in the field.
This may be the poorest...
Not a good hitter.
This may be the poorest center field division.
At least in terms of offense. At
least that we've covered so far.
Yes.
Very unfortunate.
Good defensive center field division. Not good offensive one.
What was my bold prediction, John? I completely forgot. My bold prediction for the Minnesota Twins.
Bring back Moreno. Not even Nauer, Moreno.
No. My bold prediction is that
no.
In a push for the second wild card, Joe Mauer comes out of retirement. That's probably the most likely bold prediction either of us have ever had.
I think so.
Even before we've started recovering them.
I think so.
Anything else on the AL Central?
That's pretty much it.
Any odd... Since most of these teams are in rebuild mode, any odd buyers this deadline?
That's a good question. I do not think so. I think the Twins probably stand pat because they did all their buying in the offseason and they're not really a big market team.
It's such a Twins move to do that.
Yes.
Now, my bold...
I don't think the Indians buy because their ownership does not want to buy. I do not think that the White Sox, Royals, or Tigers are good enough to buy, so I'm saying no buyers.
I'm going to go odd buyer, the Kansas City Royals. How the heck are they going to finish second in the division if they aren't
I have no clue.
What do they have to spend? Billy Hamilton? No.
Maybe he fetches a return. People view him as a long-term piece, even though he probably signed a 1-year deal.
Any final thoughts and ideas for future videos? Other than this Dallas Cowboy video, though.
I have nothing.
Yeah, we're going to continue our MLB divisions before the season. I don't know. Leave any requests for videos inside. We cover all sports, unlike the 4-letter network that won't even cover hockey.
That is very true.
Hockey growing in popularity as it is.
Yes.
Ridiculous. So thank you. Like, subscribe. I'm Mark Jones. Follow me at BlackStang1302. If you want to talk sports, whatever, I'll probably unfollow you, but it's just how it goes. I'm being honest with you.
I'm John Gold. Follow me on @@John_G.
Thanks. See ya.